All right, everybody. Today, I am going to show you how I grill chicken breast. Okay? So stay with me, and I will show you every step that I take to make my chicken. All right? All right. Let's take a look at this chicken breast. You see this right here? Normally, if you're gonna grill some chicken breasts, I like to make them thick like this. Some people like to make them thin, but I'm just gonna keep it as is. What you can do is clip out some of these short ends, like this fat right here, so it doesn't get burned in the fire. But I like to keep it thick because with all the charcoal and the smoke kind of rushing into onto your grill, this can soak up a lot of smoke, and it can make your chicken a little bitter if it takes too much smoke in too quickly. So if you're gonna use chicken, my recommendation is kind of keep it thick. You can still keep it. You can still have a moist chicken if it's this thick. But it's all preference, and I'm going to show you how to my method on how to keep your chicken breast moist and not dry it out while you're grilling it. So you can see right here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash all my chicken, and then I'm going to show you what I season my chicken with. I use this actually this lemon pepper seasoning, it's just a basic store-bought lemon pepper seasoning, and I'll get right to it. Hold on. So I've got my chicken out of the package, and I'm gonna wash my chicken just like this. You don't want that slimy, chickeny stuff in as your final result. You don't want your chicken. I don't like my chicken to taste like chicken. I like my chicken to taste like the lemon pepper seasoning or whatever kind of seasoning you want. But, that's preference. If you like it chickeny, make it chickeny. But I do not. And you don't know how long the chicken's been sitting in this package in here. You want to keep it nice and fresh and clean. Okay, I'm gonna actually keep everything as is. I'm gonna keep some people like to clip the fat. I'm gonna keep it. Actually, this stuff right here, I'm gonna cut off. But, I've got some more chicken here. But, everything's preference. Everything is preference. So, wash your chicken front and back, side to side. Give it a nice bath. Try not to use any soap. I know some people take washing the chicken a little too far, and actually give it a bath, and those are the type of people you want to stay away from when they're in the kitchen. So, all right, just like that right here. Got our washed chicken right here, and next let me grab some paper towels right here. And pat dry all my chicken like that. Pat dry it like that, okay? Okay, nice clean chicken. Get the other side. Ooh. Make sure you guys can see. Right here, yeah. There you go. Nice clean chicken. Do what you can, dry it as best as you can, just like that. All right, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trim some of this these little clippings right here, because I don't want this stuff, see right here, I don't want any of this stuff burning. So but that's preference. If you like crispy ends, whatever, this is your cook. You do what you want, but this is how I do it. All right, so I clipped out all the chicken as best as I could. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my seasoning. You pick whatever seasoning you want. I would prefer, you know, any kind of seasoning that's got sugar in it. I try to stay away from, mainly because it can easily burn in the fire, and you don't want that burnt flavor unless, you know, you time it well and you add it in a later time in the cook. But for me, you can see right here, I'm not going to show you the brand, but you can probably guess what brand it is by like you looking at the cap. But yeah, you can use whatever you want, but for me, I'd like to stay away from the sugar because of the burn factor. And also, I've lost a lot of weight, and recently, today, I've actually made my goal of losing about just over 61 pounds today. So this is actually part of my little workout plan. And you know, there's a lot of benefits to grilling your food. It's very healthy, I believe. I use charcoal. I don't like to use gas. I think for my preference, you know, some people like to use gas, but honestly, I taste the gas, propane in the food. And that's just what I experienced with it. And also, I feel like if you're gonna use a grill, you know, use a grill, use a real grill. Learn how to use that charcoal grill, because that gas stuff, you're just basically cooking using your stove outside. There's a hidden skill with using a charcoal grill. You can't beat the flavor, you can't beat the smoke flavor. You know, to me, it's like a campfire type of thing outside in your backyard. So, you know, that's just me. But you guys do whatever you want to do. No hate for the propane grill people. I just like to actually cook with charcoal. I think there's a skill and an art to it. And okay, guys. So I have my chicken. It's been all seasoned up. My video just kind of cut off a little due to the battery on my phone, but I will let this kind of chill out right now. It's been actually in the fridge for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just to kind of let the salt kind of just penetrate through the chicken breast to give it a little bit more tenderness. And I will show you what the grill looks like outside and how I have it all set up and the things that I use. And let's get to it. So here we are in Rockville, Maryland. We just had a large thunderstorm last night, so it's a little wet and damp, which is a good time for, you know what, grilling. So what I have here is a 22-inch Weber Kettle, just a normal Weber Kettle. And some of the tools I'm going to be using today is I have a chimney right here that's going to help me contain my fire and help me speed up the process when I light up the fire and get the heat going. I'm using lump charcoal today. I think the lump charcoal has like a nice flavor to it. It adds extra flavor to it, actually. And you can use briquettes. I have some in my closet, and I normally use those for like low and slow, like ribs, pork butt, brisket, things that are gonna take me a few hours and when I need that consistency. But this is, I think lump is a little tricky to use. It does spike up in heat if you want to cook for really, really high heat type of things. But I'm actually trying to get better at using lump charcoal, because I think, again, it does have a nice taste to it, I think. And if you know how to use it, you know, once you get used to something like this, you can really, really make some good food out of it. right here I have something called a slow and sear, and I'm gonna put my lit charcoal onto this pile right here, because what I found out about lump charcoal is when it's lit up, all this is gonna shrink down, and it's gonna burn fast. So I'm putting some additional charcoal down there to kind of keep that fire going, because I'm going to need this. The chicken's kind of going to take about 30 minutes to do, and now I want to keep the fire consistent. If I have to use briquettes, I will throw some in there, but hopefully I wouldn't have to, because it's actually a damp day here, and I don't think the kettle's going to get too hot, because the weather does play a role in the venting situation. But here I've got something to light up my charcoal with. Actually, here's a tumbleweed right here. We're going to light that up to light the charcoal. I have some tongs for handling the meat. I have one tong right here. This is for handling the charcoal, and this is for handling the food. Okay. Safety gloves for handling things near the fire. I have a thermo pen for checking my temperature. I have this igrill temperature probe thing. It's going to help me keep track of the temperature inside of the kettle while it's cooking. And yeah, I have a homemade drip pan. My drip pan's kind of I kind of ran out of, so I had to kind of make them out of this tin foil here. And then lastly, I've got this, I'm going to use some of this, a splash of hickory chips right at the end. So it's going to have that lemony hickory flavor on top of the seasoning that we have already. So, and actually you can see some of my other setups here. I've got a 26 inch over there for big cooks like pork butt and ribs and briskets and things like that. And I have a short one over there for like travel. It's more like an 18 inch. But today I'm using this 22 inch because I used it last night on some chicken, actually a rotisserie chicken, and I will get to it. So, all right, so we're gonna light up our look at that. Now we're gonna quickly put our charcoal on here, right there, just like that. We're gonna contain that. We're gonna come back here in about 10-15 minutes, and I want to see this kind of partially gray on the top. So I'm gonna monitor these dots right here. They're gonna tell me how far along in how far along in this the fire is down here. And when it gets right there, I'm gonna pop it right over here. Okay, and be right back. Okay, so I've got the charcoal's all ashed over, and I'll pop this bad boy right in that slow and sear right there. Spread it all around. Now we gotta act a little fast here. All right, look at that. Okay, got everything in there. Gonna put this guy down. I'm gonna put my makeshift drip tray right there, and then add some water to my slow and sear. We want those chicken breasts nice and moist. This is gonna maintain the heat. It's gonna keep the coals from dying out so soon. And put a lot of moisture in there. We want our chicken breast to be nice and moist, not dried out chicken. So that's what we're shooting for. All right. Put this down over here for a second so I can add the grate. Perfect. Now we're going to take our temperature gauge or probe, stick it right over here, just like that. All right, I'm going to close this guy Gonna turn this guy on right here. We're gonna try and hit for 300, 400, 350, 400 degrees. And I'm gonna take my top vent, open it wide up, just like that. I wanna hit my target, it's not too quickly, but just let it gradually get there. Now, I'm gonna keep my bottom vent open. If you've never worked on a Weber Kettle, there's a bottom vent, a damper, and a top vent. The bottom vent right here, don't mind the noise right over here. I know that's annoying. If you've never worked on a Weber Kettle, you see all these dots and all these symbols right here. This oval symbol means that the damper is completely closed, okay? But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna keep it wide open. This is if you're done with the Weber Kettle, you put everything, you slide this all the way to the left over here, over this oval right here, on this last dot, and you completely close the top vent, and that's gonna suffocate the fire inside, and essentially turn off your Weber. This symbol right here means that your dampers are maybe halfway open, quarter open, but you could play around with the blades and see. But this is kind of like a halfway medium cook, and then this right here means that you're cooking the blades are completely open in there. Okay, and then all the way to the side is if you want to take some of those ashes and push them to this ash catcher down here. Okay. This is if you ever want to make some really major temperature adjustments, you would play with the bottom vent down here. This is the top vent, and you're going to use this if you've got to make some minor fine-tuning adjustments to the temperature. And you know, the weather has a big play on how you play with the vents. But for right now, I'm trying to get the temperature up to 350 degrees, so I'm going to keep these wide open for right now. And once I get close to my range, I'm going to kind of close this down a little bit and close this maybe halfway, maybe a quarter, and see how that goes, because we want to maintain the temperature the same throughout the whole cook if we can. But you can see on a Weber Kettle that they have their own temperature gauge, and I don't ever listen to this, because reason being is the placement of the temperature gauge is on the other side of the vent. Normally ideally you would want the temperature gauge right over here, and you can make the modification if you want, but I don't like fooling around and fooling with drills and stuff. But you know, you can put one right over here if you want, which is why I have a temperature gauge down there. Some folks they don't need it, and they just go by the way feel, I guess you could say. But this right here, in this case right here, since the coals are right here, this is going to be screaming hot. This is going to be really high. So but yeah, we'll come back, and once this is hit 350 degrees at least, I'll start playing with these vents, and we'll throw the chicken off. All right, we are just about at our 350 degree mark, and I still have my vents. I'm going to keep the vents wide open, okay? And I added some briquettes over here because I was running out of lump charcoal. You know, like I said, lump charcoal burns fast, and once it hits that peak, the temperature starts to sink. So I just added some briquettes because I need extra heat. So what I'm going to do is I've oiled up this chicken breast, kind of like with a spray canola oil, and I'm going to put it right down here. Start placing them right over the grate. Now remember, we have limited space here, so we want to use all the space we can on our grates, because we want to cook. This is cooking indirectly. Okay. indirect. I'm gonna place this one just like that. Right here. Take this wire out of the way. There we go. And look, got our fire going. You know what? I'm gonna do some extra. I'm gonna put some extra flavor in here. I'm gonna put an onion right there. And that's gonna add a nice aroma to our chicken. Look at that. I'm gonna close this guy up. Oh, already smelling good. And I'm not gonna play around with these vents right now. I'm gonna let the grill do its thing. And I'll probably come back here and then in 20 minutes and see how the chicken is doing internally. And we'll see. All right, we're about 20 to 30 minutes in. And let's check on the chicken. Still maintaining our temperature close to 250 degrees. All right, fire's burning pretty well. Let's see what we're looking at here. Grab my thermopen and let's see. 40. Oh wow. Let me get right to 160. 46. Oh, really close. Really close. 150, 152. Okay. 150 and 150. Oh, that one's close to done. Okay, well, let's get right in the center here. Oop. Okay, that one's gonna need a little bit more time. Maybe I'll flip that one around. But these are looking pretty good. I'm gonna flip these just like that. Okay. It's looking real good. Looking good, looking good. Okay, just like that. And I think at this time, we are going to put some of this splash of these wood chips right into the fire. Right. We're going to put some of our wood chips in there. Close it back up. Come back in another 10 minutes. All right, let's see what it looks like now. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what that smoke did. Darken it up the chicken a little bit. Oh yeah, let's see what the temperature is now. We're hitting we want to hit around 160. I got 152, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, that's pretty close. That's definitely hitting it. Let's see where this is. Don't mind the beeping again. Okay, oh, there it goes. Gonna hit that a little longer. This one's probably done. This is real life, guys. No kitchen magic here. All right. Really close. So what I'm gonna do too is, the reason why I hit it at 160, not 165, because if you hit it 165 and you take it off the grill, it still cooks when it's off the grill. So usually it'll cook up a little bit while it's resting. And if you cook it too long on here, it'll dry. See, that's at 160. So what I'm gonna do too is let's turn this off. I'm gonna hit this right on the hot spot. Okay, let's get it right there. I like making nice grill marks, nice and flat. I know it looks kind of dry on the outside, but I promise it's not dry at all. Chicken breast is generally pretty hard to do because it's white meat, and it cooks differently than dark meat. Dark meat has all the fat in it. White meat barely has any, so you're not going to get that moist texture you get with dark meat. Flip this guy over. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Yep. There you go. Look at that. Nice looking grill marks. Pretty looking to eat. Look at that. And I'm going to take these off. Put them right on my clean grate right here. All right. Just like that. It smells amazing. Right here. And let that rest right over there. Hopefully no birds take my food. Or foxes or whatever. Let's see here. And this is what I cook almost weekly for my workout. You know, so if I'm gonna stick to a diet, I'm gonna cook food that I like. And a beauty part about cooking outside is you're not setting off the fire alarm or the smoke alarm in your house, because I cook a lot. And you can see right here, my grates are pretty clean still. So I've seen a lot of videos where people will do their barbecuing and you see some dirty ass grates. Don't do that here. Nice clean grates. You want nice clean food. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Put that right over here. Put that right over here. And I'm gonna let these kind of settle down. I'm gonna put some foil over that too and let them just rest for about 10 minutes. And I'll show you what they look like inside. Okay, here is the finished product. Let's see if we can see how moist these are inside. All right, let's pick one of these out, any one of these, and I'm gonna cut right into it. Let's pick that one. Random chicken. Let's cut it right in half. Look at that. That's not dry at all. Look at that. I'm not gonna squeeze out the juices in here, but it's a little, it looks pink there, but that's actually from the hickory smoke. So I'm actually gonna try a little bit too, just to make sure everything tastes good. Yep, moist chicken. Best chicken. Got that lemony hickory taste to it. You can't go wrong. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you're new to my channel, just hit subscribe and like this video if you want. And I will see you all next time.